Hey everyone, so Toro 22-inch, the square body, so the newer design, not the newest design, so I'm going to try to walk you through the intro here. Clutch issues. So let me back up. One of the most common problems with any lawnmower, really, mechanically speaking, mechanical failure, mechanical issues, is the cables. And it's probably the thing that frustrates most people. So we're going to go in, we're not going to get too busy with this one or too deep. This is actually a pretty simple fix, so stay tuned. But just to kind of walk you through a little bit the intro, 22-inch Toro. These are about 10 years old, they're very common, but this model is a little bit different. It doesn't have an engine bail or engine zone control, cut off, shut off, blade brake, up on the top of the motor, right? They have all these different names, and I'll show you that a little bit more as we get into the video. It uses a switch on the side. I don't know what happened with this one with the original switch or whatever, so I had to make something. But this is how you identify yours, and maybe you're not aware. But this is the Toro with the clutch, blade clutch design. You can let go of the handle, let go of both handles, and some of them are personal pace and some of them aren't. But you can let go of the handles, the engine will stay running. It won't idle down or anything like that, but the blade will stop. Of course, the motion will stop because you let go of that handle as well. Or if it's personal pace, you just kind of, again, took your hands off. And that's kind of neat because, like, my Honda has something very similar to that. I can even idle it down. You can go pick up dog poop and move lawn furniture around and kids' crap. I don't know how many of these they made. It is not the most common, but it's out there. It's fairly common. These are pretty heavy machines, pretty decent machines. So we're going to get into that. Now, everything gets stuck, so you're going to have to clean the heck out of your machine first. And I talk a little bit about that as well. We got to get the plastic covers off. The second issue with these types of machines is the plastic baffle brakes, and they are available. Go by your model number and by the look of it. It's very easy to do on this particular model. Again, this is a slightly newer one with the clutching system on the blade. You just have to take the wheels off and a bunch of bolts. We'll show you that as well. And you got to get in there and clean really good. I had to clean it with a pressure washer. It's rear drive, so the rear drives particularly get a lot of junk in there and they jam up. So we're going to kind of go over that a little bit, a little lubrication. I cleaned with the pressure washer. Absolutely have to do that, right? When this starts to get stuck, this is what you're going to need to do. And then when I take the cover off, I didn't actually show all of it, but yeah, you pretty much got to hose this thing down with lubricants and penetrating lubricants and exercise it and get it moving again. You got to get it really clean. Hopefully you have an air compressor because you're going to need to blow it out. If you don't, you can use a hose, but then if you put a lot of lube on and you're afraid you get it on the belt or whatever, that's all right. Hose the heck out of it with oil and lubricants and chain wax and then hose it with your garden hose, right? Rinse off the excess, and you'll be fine. Listen, bottom line is, fellas, it's not working for you, is it? So let's get in there and get into this, and we're gonna go a little deep, but nothing too bad. It's pretty easy to do, okay? And so you can look for the baffle online and replace that. You can get just about anything you need online. Maybe it's time for a tune-up. Maybe it's time for a new blade. And you'll also know, because when you go to pull the machine backwards, right, it won't go. So it's time to do it. Let's get started on this video, and I'll give you some tips and tricks. These are very nice machines. They're certainly worth your effort, and none of this should be above anybody that's just the least bit handy. So good luck. Check out the video, and I think you'll be quite successful. And I think it's a good maintenance thing as well. If you're starting to see a few problems, and maybe it hasn't gotten that bad, and you've had the machine now for quite a number of years, get in there and take care of it, all right, before you lose it. I think new, an equivalent today is around $600-ish. So it might be worth your time. Let's get started on this. Now, I've already cleaned it for the most part. Now, the most common problem with these is that this gets broken, and this one's broken in two places. This is your baffle. And if you notice, right, you've got another block-off plate, right, belt cover plate here. And I'll get you in a little bit closer in a bit. So I'll get you in close, but we need to take off these bolts here. on either side, and there's some from behind. So again, I'll get you in close. So we're going to prop it back up. I already took off the blade. Prop it back up on all fours. We get the back end lifted up a little bit, and you can see the wheels are very worn. I have other wheels, and we'll see if we can get this baffle out. I also want to show you the engine too, because the engine looks a little bit different. All right, notice the cables. All right, they go down into here. This one does not have the engine bail cable that comes over to here, right, with the conventional engine bail, right, where it's got the brake and the switch. And the cable comes down into the filth and dirt area that nobody can get to. And it doesn't work. And I don't know, maybe the personal pace drive cable might work. Let's see. Let me just take a quick peek. Yeah, that one might work. It looks like it's moving. All right, so let me take the stuff out of the way. And then we'll flip it on its side. Let's get underneath and see what's going on, because I can't get it to move. All right, let's see. I did wash it. Yeah, she don't want to move. Let's see. Personal disgrace. Okay, and to get the belt guide and cover off, pop these two as well. Obviously, the guy was standing on this side and lifting this side, so it caused it to bend. It yielded. All right, there's the offending screw we got to get out. You know, let's take a peek. Okay, there's that. One piece fell off. Where is it? Yeah, this piece fell off. All right, that goes up there. Get that out of the way. And you can see I got it pretty clean. It was filthy. Then this comes off. It's got a clutch system in here. We can see it's pretty jammed up. It stops the blade. It's not a bad idea. It's a more positive stop than many of the others, but it's got to be able to pull this whole mechanism, and it's probably frozen. Probably needs another cleaning. Let me get in there a little bit. Let me take a peek and see, is it just jammed? Because it's got a big spring on it, and it's got to pull against a lot of weight, and it could be jammed. See, the brake is applied here, and like I said, I'll get you in close. So we need to pull that brake off, and let's see if we can. Yeah, she don't even want to move. All right, let me fool around with it. She's pretty stuck. And you can imagine, right, how much junk gets in here. Let me see what I can lube, and we'll see if we can get it to work. I took some of my tranny fluid mix, poured it all over the cable. I also put it on the top of the cable, and I hosed all in here, and I'll show you. Okay, I can't see it from where I am. I'm actually looking on the confidence monitor. All right, so now we're going to pull that back. Let's put it on all fours and set it up so that we can check the output shafts. We'll try and spin it and check them and see what's going on. All right, I've got the engine bail pulled back and tied back. All right, it's up there. You can't see it. And it's tied back with a Velcro. And then I've got this bungee, and I'm trying to pull the handle back, and we're going to see if it moves. I took the plug out, make things a little easier. I put a little bit of my special sauce in there just in case. And I'll look on this end, and then I'll go over to that side. Let's see. All right, I'm moving. It's moving good. Let's see here. You got any movement? All right, it's moving. Let me just, yeah, it's grabbing. Everything looks like it's in good shape back there. I'll get a little bit closer. I see a little wear on the gears. You'd expect that from all that movement. So I've already oiled this once after I washed it. And we're going to put oil in and behind, kind of get everything moving good. And I need two hands for that. But yeah, we'll take this guy and move it back and forth. Try to get oil all in behind. This will help clean it. They're not bad. They're not, it wasn't really totally gross. See, now it's locking up. See, that's good. We also want to check out the cable. Maybe we can fix, like cheapy fix the cable. All right. Let me go do what I got to do, and I'll be back. All right, this is the old one, and this is our replacement. Same thing. This is just much better shape. Clean these off, get some grease on everything, and then put everything back. These are pretty clean. I cleaned them off. I'm just going to wipe out the inside. Since everything moves so freely, I treated it to a little bit of chain wax as well. Got some chain wax in there, or chain lube. And back here, if you just as a note, if you want to, you can put some like a carbon material back there, like a graphite, dry lube or something like that. That's because those two surfaces are metal to metal. But over here, you got a bearing and everything. I would it's a bushing with the ratcheting pull. You could take it all apart if you want, but this is in pretty good shape. So a little bit of chain lube or chain wax should keep everything nice. But oil first. If it's really bad, you're going to have to take it apart. You're going to have to use penetrant lube and stuff. That's common. Now, unfortunately, somebody was in here and cross-threaded that bolt. Well, I should say the axle shank. They cross-threaded over here, and you should see the wheel. See it from that side? The wheel is kicked out. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. All right, so I got the wheels back on. That's all good to go. I lubed up underneath there some more. Also put some more lube on the cables up here. If you can see that shot. I got rid of this piece of crap, right, that's in the way. So now we can do that. This we'll have to try and adjust and see if we can get a little bit more slack on it. I'm going to go do that now. Now we can see here there's a little crack starting to form, right? That can be welded. But again, these are thinner. There's probably one, I would say not quite yet, but I see evidence of maybe some stresses. These are not as nice. They're not as thick. This is the newer version, or one of the newer versions, and they started to really cheap out, and they tried to change things, and it just got too complicated. The other thing you want to do is up in this area here. See? Same thing on the other side. Okay, you want to lubricate these sliders. Get them clean with your hose or your pressure washer, some soap and detergent. A lot of dirt gets caught up in here. And then you could use silicone. I'm just using some oil to get things moving. And if you want, you can finish up with a bit of silicone or like a Teflon spray. They wear on the plastics, but it's the dirt. It makes it difficult to push. All right, we got it all together. All right, let's get ready to test it. It's running real good. We'll clean it up. We'll do a final. I just put a regular toggle on that, nice heavy duty one, and I just wrote on. That's all we need. Now I did leave out a few steps, guys, just to keep the video a little bit shorter. A lot of the stuff you can figure out on your own, right? So I didn't show like every little step. And if you notice too, you can see that it's actually not that hard to replace the cables on this system. And I mentioned that I think I mentioned it. I might have cut it out, but there are certain Toro designs, rear drive designs, where I've actually found it prudent to you have to take off the handle, all the wheels brackets, and honestly, to lay it flat, pull the motor. Oh man, what a nightmare! Not on this model, okay? On this model, yeah, like you can see the baffle. Now I'll try and leave a link down in the description for the baffle on that, but you really don't need it, right? Once you start searching like Amazon or whatever for, Toro, a model number, the engine type, whatever, just start searching, you're going to find it, right? There are a few different baffles, so look at your model number. If you've lost the model number, because a lot of times they're just stickers, take a look at the baffle, the way it's designed. It'll be in pieces, kind of put it together, go online, and you'll see they look different. They look similar, but when you look close, one of the nice things that these manufacturers have been doing, wherever they come from, it seems, but one of the nice things they've been doing is they've been, I guess, hiring some good photographers and getting some good shots. And the team that puts together the shots that are available generally online, especially on Amazon, I got to give them a lot of credit. And I've bought a number of baffles before and installed them, and it's just a baffle. They go in fine. It's not a super critical part. And I put, as you see in this video, I put the old one back. Reason for that is that this is one of the ones that I buy. I buy them sight unseen, kind of, usually about 20 bucks a pop. I buy a lot of them, like in terms of a lot, like a whole lot, right? It's like a hard term to say. And there's just, where I am here, if I were to buy a baffle, I would not get my money back. If it's a customer coming to me and they want the baffle done, sure, I can make some money. I can afford to buy the part, absolutely. But when you just go to sell a machine that you've just sort of resurrected on the open market, you just don't get it back. And so it's not really that it's super important. A lot of times people come back after a few years, and I'm getting them now, and they need tune-ups and stuff, and we can start having the discussion about maybe replacing wheels and baffles. Another thing to consider, notice I did the wheels. That I installed because the wheels that were on there were just bald and trashed. So something like that I'll do, and it's quite obvious. And it's got to work, right? Because it's a self-propelled machine. And that's one of the reasons why people are buying it. Lubricate, clean, make adjustments, do a tune-up while you're there. I promise you, you're going to be very happy. Look at this machine. It's beautiful, right? Wouldn't you want to own it if you didn't have one? If you happen to find one out there in the wild, somebody selling it at a garage sale or maybe online, if you can get it for 20, 40, 50, 60 bucks, depending upon its shape, it's worth it. Think about it. They're over $600 now. Any good machine, guys, I'm seeing is in the $700 category. Like, the crappy ones are $325 push nowadays, right? I mean, you could level up your game with a few handy skills and maybe have some fun and learn something and build your confidence. That's a great thing, especially when everything is going up. Maybe you could be the guy that fixes a few on the side, or just for your own edification, right? You've got yourself, guy or gal, you got yourself a nice machine. They really are nice. I did mention those cracks. They can form in that area in the back. There are few other places. If you keep the deck from spoiling and rusting to crap, they can be welded easily and fixed. This one, it didn't really need it yet. I haven't seen total failures on decks, but I have seen some of these decks really begin to warp and have some issues. This is the years and the models when they started to begin to cheap out a little bit. Don't worry. You can do it. You can do it yourself. And good luck with your project and whatever you guys endeavor to do. And I will see you on the next one in Archer's Garage. Do us a favor over here at Archer's Garage. Us, here, me, right, and the family. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. It helps to push us into me, the dog, the family, right, deeper into the algorithm. And build the channel up a little bit together. And that's what we do together here at Archer's Garage. Now it's you guys, right? And of course, if you don't hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment, well, all I can say is shame on you.